Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. This is the BS Buddies podcast. Cash. I
Cash,
can't.
cash.
Just the BS Buddies podcast, yo. That's your host, Joe. I'm your host, Ian. Today, we got a cool topic to talk about for you, and that is if you could bring back a piece of modern technology to a medieval European peasant, what would you bring back? What do you think would blow their mind? What would look like magic or a miracle? What might get you strung up and burned at the stake for witchcraft? Or, what cool things could you show them? You're like, yeah, here, have that. Make your life better. Be really cool.
I,
How was that for an intro, Joe? Was that
I,
was that solid enough that I didn't
it
mess up
was really
any words?
cash money of you,
Oh, thank
honestly.
you. I tried so hard. Just as a side note, I don't think I've managed to do an intro like the last 4 or 5 times without messing up some word at some point during the intro. Just a BS Buddies podcast. Yeah, so we're cool like that. We're cool.
Anyways,
Anyways,
we're gonna be blowing our cash so we can buy technological advances and bring them back in time.
never
Uh,
mind how we're getting back in time. We're skipping past that. Don't think about that part.
yeah, don't worry about that. Uh,
Oh.
I'll go first. I do have to say, just so there's no plot holes or anything, I'm gonna bring a small generator that's filled with fuel, so I can plug in an
Ah.
electric guitar amp, and I'm gonna show them how to shred. I can't shred
Oh.
myself, but just be like, here.
Go
Um,
hey, hit that string once. You just as they're not looking, you just like crank the volume up to 10 and you put your earplugs in. And they're gonna think like
a
the light of
dragon
the
is
heavens
coming.
is shining down upon them. Oh
Zeus
my
is
god.
upset.
Well, to be fair, it would be interesting, right? Because the guitar, as we know it today, has been around for like centuries. Like the acoustic guitar has been around for a really long time. So it's not like they wouldn't know what it is, but like an electric guitar, you're like, this guitar is amplified with electricity. They'd be like, what's that? You'd be like, like when it's raining sometimes, there'll be those like big bolts of white light across the sky that blow up a tree when they touch it. Yeah, well, we channeled that through this thing, and now when you strum this note, and you can just like and like do like some Eddie Van Halen stuff, and like they'd probably be absolutely. You would become an instant musical celebrity. Like, think about that. You wouldn't even have to play good. You would just be a musical celebrity by the sheer weight of being the only person who has one of those things.
The thing is, I feel like they would be. I don't think they would understand it right away because like acoustic guitars have the hole in it for the sound, and then you just give them
Right.
like it's flat. Where's the sound coming from?
Why does it not echo? How come it's not as big as the wooden ones, but it's heavier? I don't understand. What's going on? You're like, slow down. I'm getting there. Like, I'm trying to imagine, like, imagine if you put on a concert, right? Like, you go up to the king, right? You manage to convince the few villagers or whatever that you saw to not immediately burn you for witchcraft. And you, I'm like, all right, like, guys, I'm gonna do something really cool, right? The king, you said the king's been in a really bad mood. Just hang on, I got this, right? So you like stroll up to the castle and you're like, here, I need to see the king. And they're like, what's going on? You're like, yo, kingy boy, I got a proposition for you, right? I want to put on a concert for like the whole kingdom. And the king is like, are you stupid? There's no stage hall that big that can accommodate the whole kingdom. You're like, no, hear me out. We just an open field. You just put like a couple of pretty banners up, have some food vendors off to the side if you want. I can really increase your tax revenue for you here. And the king's like, all right, go on, I'm listening. You're like, with this bad boy. And you like reveal your electric guitar. And then they're like, okay, no, this guy's absolutely nuts. And you're like, no, 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 no. You managed to convince them, right? You've got everybody out there. And there's like people like hundreds of yards away in the back, like, boo, this sucks. We're not going to be able to hear anything. And then you hit him with that like Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner. And everyone's going, oh my God, what is that? You're going to be like the coolest. It's literally going to be like Woodstock 1269. Like, you will be the first dude to pull off Woodstock 1269. A whole, what would that be? 700 years before the actual Woodstock occurred. You'd be the guy to do it first. And I think that'd be pretty freaking sweet.
So I could see this happening as well. It's like King keeps ordering more and more concerts. Eventually,
Fingers are bleeding.
the generator's going to run out of fuel one of those days. And it's going to be a travesty.
Hey, Kingy boy. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Now there's got to be. If you could convince the king to like brew you some like special grade alcohol that's like 100 proof, you could probably get away with it. Because you could stick 100 proof in the generator and it'd burn. Wouldn't be like the cleanest burning. It wouldn't be the most efficient, but it would get you by. You'd just be like, "Yo, King, you got any like 100-year-old bottles of wine that's been fermenting forever? Like, yeah, here you go as a gift to you for such a wonderful concert." He just watch you go take the top off and pour it right down the tank.
The other thing I
want him out of my castle.
The other thing I thought of, if we can just go back whenever, like we gift the guitar to someone else. We go back in time with it just barely on E. Like just one more concert away from being done.
One more concert. Yeah. Yeah. And I pass the guitar off to my wonderful apprentice who has learned everything that I have taught him. And it's like that scene from Kung Fu Panda. What are you, what? I must go. My time has come. And then he's left standing there holding the thing going, I've never even touched this thing before. I don't even know how to play guitar. What do I do? Just... Oh, that's good. That's a good one. I like that one. That's a good one.
Ian, what is your first one?
I think a technology that I could bring back. Now, I think it's pretty obvious, right? Everyone's like, oh, you know, cell phones, your computer, the internet, blah, blah, blah. But you got to think, right? This is a pretty obvious technological advancement that we have from even 20 years ago. I would bring something as innocuous as like a bag of Doritos. And I'm sure that some people out there have seen this meme before, but like, think about it. You bring a bag of Doritos nacho cheese. That one single chip has more nacho cheese flavor in it than that medieval peasant has tasted in his entire lifetime. Like, it's up for debate if he's even tasted cheese before. And you're just like, yeah, here, man, have this flavor thing. Like, you take one bite and probably die of overload. Like, you'd be like, oh my God, what is this? And you'd be like, yeah, these are called chips. They're made out of flour. And they put a little bit of orange dust on them. It tastes like cheese. I don't even want to tell you about like the Cool Ranch ones. The Cool Ranch ones might make you shrivel up into like a pea and blow away in the wind or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I would bring some Doritos.
Just imagining like giving them like a barbecue chip and just being like, here, my son, take this. You have been chosen.
Imagine this, right? Because what I would want to see, like, what if you brought like a whole truckload of chips back with you, and you gave them
Frito-Lays. You just take the whole Frito-Lay truck.
Like, yeah, like an entire truck, right? And it's not enough to last them any significant amount of time, but it would be just enough chips that like people would talk about it, right? Like, because something that insane to them would definitely travel through word of mouth. Like, you know, John Johnson would go talk to Andrew Anderson, who would go talk to Bill Bilson, who would go talk to Will Williamson, and then you travel down the line until eventually like 5, 6, 7 villages away, someone's walking down like, "That's right, what they have over in the kingdom of blah blah. They've got these little tiny triangles, and they taste like cheese." Like people would be looking at him like, "What, dude? Are you okay? Like, does he?" I think he's been sniffing the hat fumes a little too much. You better go like lock him up in the clink. Like he's going crazy. So like you could go back in time and like drop off this truckload of chips and then come back to the present, and there'd probably be like historical documents like the kingdom of blah 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 suffered from mass schizophrenia when residents claim to have eaten a food that is suspiciously similar to Doritos. Like you would convince an entire generation that they went absolutely insane for they don't know what, and you're just over there like, yeah, them Doritos were worth the schizophrenia, huh? Like the rest of their life, they will be chasing that flavor. They will never have anything that is that good again.
I want to point out a problem though that I just thought of.
What's that?
So we are in Europe.
Right.
We never specify what part. So with these things, imagine like you're in like the area of France and you just trying to convey to someone who they
Je
probably-
m'appelle le like be like, just shut up and put it in your mouth, man. Come on.
and then the guitar, it's just like just a one little strum. And they're like, oh my goodness.
You're like, and you're sitting there like, I don't know what's happening. I hope it's good things. And then they turn around at you and they grab the guillotine, and you're like, oh yeah, this is France. Go figure. Maybe,
Wait.
hey, maybe if you brought them chips though, you could influence the development of their country, and maybe France would be the leading producer of Doritos when you got back to the present. They wouldn't be known for baguettes. It'd be like, here, let me fix your history so you're not just known for extra long bread. There you go, France. I gave you Doritos. You happy? No, you're not, of course. All right, keep going. Next country.
Wave the white flag.
Wave the white flag.
There.
Wave
he
the white
gets it.
flag.
Oh,
All right. Okay. So if we went to France, then where are we gonna go next? Where are we gonna go next? What's the next country that you'd bring technology back to?
okay. I'm gonna bring this back from when we first started talking about this. So what I would bring is like Magic the Gathering or like a trading card game. Just bring a bunch of cards. For this one, I would find it hilarious to bring it to Germany. And medieval Germany. And just like Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Imagine showing them Yu-Gi-Oh cards back then. They probably would just make tarot cards out of
Das Viech atmet doch keiner. Pot of greed, das Viech gelöscht mit. Da steht unter keiner. Pot of greed, das Viech nach und gleich wenn es pot of greed, and it feeds keiner in pot of greed. So okay, see the problem is that the Germans are very humorless people, so they would probably turn it into like a legitimate form of trading or currency or something, and you would inadvertently completely change the course of German social history with one card game. That's the thing. That's the problem.
I had thought of something awful.
Oh
The
no.
reason why they gunned down Archduke Ferdinand is is because he had the only blue eyes white dragon in the city.
You leave them one blue eye. It's like, all right, I'm gonna give you 100 decks of cards here. There's only one blue eyes white dragon in all of them. There you go,
Uh,
ham. And you know
not-
what? The piece, and then just to screw with them, be like, by the way, the pieces of our Exodia are scattered in the Alps. You never brought Exodia, but they're gonna be digging through those mountains for the rest of the time.
I don't think you understand what I mean, though. Like, he has the only blue eyes white dragon, and it's just like will not trade like 9/9.
World
Okay.
War One was fought because of a botched card tournament. We've successfully altered history.
Yes. Now you
Million
understand.
millions perish because of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Thanks, Joe.
But
All right.
but imagine the headlines.
Oh, the headlines that you could. I don't know if I want to imagine the headlines, right?
Just
What?
like
Okay, what?
they just
Go
say
ahead.
like they talk about the um murking of the dude, and just in the front page newspaper is just a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Oh, just front page is that thing like printed on the, looking all majestic, and everyone's like, looking at it like, What
Damn
was
it, Kaiba.
what was the name of the dude that shot Franz Ferdinand? I
I
can't
don't know. Well,
I
now
can
it's
never
Kaiba.
remember his. Yeah, it's Kaiba. Bitch boy, yeah, bitch boy Kaiba shoots Archduke Franz Ferdinand
Sends
over
him to the
shitty
Shadow
enraged
Realm.
battle. Sent him to the Shadow Realm. Bitch boy Kaiba lost his enraged battle ox and got really pissy and started an entire global war over it. That sounds about right.
Nothing like laughing
Oh,
about World War One.
I don't know why that's where we've defaulted to from medieval peasants, but I'm happy that we got there.
Hey, you
I don't know
asked how it
how
would you asked how it would evolve, and I just
it
took it to the worst possible place.
and it evolved into the worst thing ever. How many counterfeit Blue Eyes White Dragons do you think there would be?
A
That's the real
lot.
question, because people would eventually try and fake it. So how would you be able to
Oh
tell the
no, I
real
thought of
fake?
something worse again.
Uh-oh.
Gets up to a little bit later, or around the same time, maybe. Um, I don't know if I should say this.
Do it. We
You
live
know,
for the spice, Joe.
I'm
Do it.
gonna dumb it down to a better ending. I'm gonna do the good ending. Um, Mr. Good old Hitler.
H-Man. H-Man, all right. H-Man.
He fails out of art school, but he picks up Yu-Gi-Oh! And starts making new card designs. World War II never happens. Ian has gone silent with laughter. His mic is not picking it up, so just if you're listening.
I thought you were gonna go the route of good old H-Man lost the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and out of animosity, Digimon. And then the world went to war over Yu-Gi-Oh versus Digimon.
That
Oh,
that's
man.
the alternate ending. It's not the good or bad ending.
That's just the world went to war over Yu-Gi-Oh and Digimon, and some may argue that we are in fact still fighting that war today. So the determining result is up to you.
Okay,
Oh,
that was my second
one.
one.
All right, all right. Well, I've got. Ooh, see, we've gone down a lot of avenues, and now I lost what I was gonna say. What could I bring? What
We're
could I bring?
did you want to pick the country?
Oh, do we want to change countries one more time?
Might as well. I mean, we could do it every time. If you think it would be hilarious in a certain country, then go for it. Otherwise, we'll just do all of Europe.
I think what I would do is well, no, that one doesn't really work. See, this has now evolved from bringing technologies back into the past to how can we influence future cultures. And if I'm going to be doing that, I'm going back to medieval England. And I'm going to be like, okay, listen, I know that in like a couple hundred years, you guys are going to start sending all of your prisoners to this big fuck off island in the South Pacific. It's going to be called Australia, right? And I'm begging you guys, when you leave them there, give them this, and it's just going to be a Hershey's chocolate bar. And I'm going to be like, tell them that this is what Vegemite is, so that the rest of the world doesn't have to suffer their creation.
That's not the angle
be
I
like,
thought
you-
you were going with, but yeah, that works.
You'd be like, give it like, here's a Hershey's chocolate bar, right? This comes from the Amazon. You'll probably discover it in like 200 years from now. There's a whole other continent on the other side of the world. You're gonna send a dude named Christopher Columbus to go there. Don't worry about it. Whenever they come back, you tell them this is Vegemite, and you just let history take its course from there. And then you go forward, and then Australia will basically have their version of Nutella.
It'll be Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory as an entire country.
Exactly. And then nobody will ever have to be assaulted by Vegemite ever again. If you like Vegemite, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I missed the funeral for your taste buds. But anyways.
I could see you going back in time doing that, coming back to the future, and then Australia's like completely changed, and then like all of a sudden you get news. And they're like, we created this new product. And they just recreate Vegemite anyway.
We call it marmalade. No. Here, now imagine, like even better, right? Like you tell them to use chocolate bar, give the chocolate bar to Australia, and then like you come back to the present, and instead of just like, oh, now Vegemite is chocolate, it's like you come back, you turn on the news, and in other news today, the Australian government announces the complete transformation of Australia into a rainforest and has become the world's leading producer in chocolate. You're like, I might have accidentally just planted an entire another rainforest in Australia, but I mean, that's a win, I guess. And then you flip it over to the other news, and it's like the rainforest in Brazil completely destroyed after chocolate is. Oh God! You're like, oh no! I've influenced the world in too many ways. The butterfly effect got out of my control. Oh man!
So, I thought about just going with like a car, like bringing a car somewhere and like just racing through the Netherlands, like the tulip fields. But
of Holland, you're gonna go destroy all the nice flower fields in Holland and Amsterdam.
we will make tracks, okay? Not all of them will be harmed, but some of you may die, and that is a sacrifice I am willing to make.
That's fair.
But
You know,
hold on.
go ahead.
Unless you're gonna add on to the car thing, because I got
Yes, I was
Okay,
going to add on to the car thing.
car
I was
thing.
just going to say that when you said I'm going to bring a car back, my mind immediately flashed back to that Dodge commercial from a few years ago where it
I
was like
know exactly.
Washington,
The Civil
founding
War.
fathers like bombing through the revolution, driving the
Revolutionary
Dodge.
Yeah, Dodge Charger in 1776. But I'm gonna go stupid. I really want to go stupid with this one, and I have to modify it a little bit, just with the whole electricity thing. So this is gonna be solar powered. I don't know if they actually make them this way. Are you ready for it to go stupid?
Yes.
It doesn't matter what country this is. It'll be universal. I'm going to give them a solar powered clap on light.
You would immediately condemn whatever poor fool you gave that to definitely getting burned at the stake for witchcraft. And two, that light bulb would be locked up in the Vatican for like the next 3,000 years as a condemned haunted object, and no one would be allowed to ever see it, ever. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Hey, Bill, come check this out. You remember that traveler we saw with the weird clothes? Look, he gave me the, like, you see the panel, that thing on top of my house? Oh, it's quite stylish. It looks really good up there. Yeah, but come inside. Check this out. Ready? And it'd turn on, and he'd look over there. Isn't that cool? And his buddy would just, I'm going to get the monks. No, I'm not having that. I'm calling him now. You're done for. and you would you
How
would
can you
start
call
a
them? You don't have a phone.
you would start a
Yo, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna send a carrier pigeon to Father Joseph.
he walks outside. He like scribbles the note on there and releases it, and then somebody else like shoots the pigeon down. Ah, bad signal. Just man.
Just, just on the note is clap, light. Ah!
Clap light, scary magic.
Send people now. Send the Templars. Help anybody. Oh my god. Oh, that would be amazing. So I thought of two more good ones. One is an add-on to your car one. Instead of a car, bring a monster truck. Bring Gravedigger. Simply because be like,
Send
yeah,
Gravedigger.
this is my horseless carriage. He's a little loud. He drinks fuel like a pig. But check this out. You like pop a wheelie and like drive around, and all the medieval pens be like, yeah, that's pretty dope. I don't know what that is, but that's pretty dope. I want whatever that is. I want to turn in there.
Also bring it to the Holland and just knock over the windmills.
Be like, wow, those windmills are really cool. Anyways, and just all of them gone, and then it would be like a disaster, probably on par to like the burning of the library at Alexandria. Historians in the future would be like, well, the citizens of the time were very bad with descriptive words, but apparently a large object on wheels rolled through and demolished all of these. It doesn't appear to be an act of war, and historians to this day are still puzzled by it. And then there's you like locking up your barn and just, yeah, never mind the suspiciously windmill-shaped chunks of garbage in my shop. Nothing to do with anything. Yeah,
They said it was the spirit of death reincarnated because of the skull that they saw.
He literally called it Gravedigger. It didn't even have a shovel on it. Oh. And then I've got one more. Got one more weapon. Right. I would
Weapon?
find Yes, I've got one more, and it's a weapon. One more weapon. This is a weapon. I would bring back an AK-47, and I would go back to medieval China. Okay, just hang on. Stay with me. Stay with me. We're not going down the bad route, okay? We're not going down the bad route, all right? I would only bring one magazine, okay? That way they can't get too hog wild with it.
They would.
And
figure it out.
and I would go find whoever the first dude who invented or created gunpowder. I would be like, I just want you to know that your invention eventually leads to some pretty crazy stuff. You know what? I wouldn't even scratch that. I wouldn't bring an AK-47. I'd bring an atomic bomb.
I was just kind of thinking about that.
I wouldn't detonate it anywhere that I could hurt people, all right? Like somewhere deep in the mountains where like nobody lives,
Ooh,
right?
You got to do it along the coast and set it off in the water.
Yeah. I'd be like, sir, let's just pretend the language barrier doesn't exist because I don't want to do a voice for the Chinese guy and get this video banned. So we're going to make him a fine, upstanding gentleman. I'd be like, sir, this is a wonderful creation you've made. It's gunpowder, right? Yeah. And he's like, oh, yes, check it out. And he makes a little spark and it fizzles and goes, poof. Be like, well, that's wonderful. I'd just like you to know that someday your invention leads to this. And like pull back the curtain dramatically. And you just see like the water and the mushroom cloud in the distance and just watch that poor man go, this does that? Be like, yeah, enough of it. Enough of that would do that. I mean, that is not necessarily that. In fact, that's something entirely different. I just want you to know that your creation eventually leads to the invention of that thing.
That
And
will make that.
Yeah, that will make that. And he's just standing there. I'm going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to get rid of all of this. And then you can just see how impactful that was on the rest of humanity forever. And then once again, historians will debate why there is radioactive waste at the bottom of the sea that strangely matches nuclear isotopes. in an area that should not have had nuclear weapons for another 700 years. It just, oh man, too many. There's too many good things to bring back. That was not a good thing, by the way. I'm going to point that out. I did not. I'm not claiming that bringing
I-
back an atomic bomb is a good thing, but you
love-
know, for the,
I also love how
Okay.
you went from, like, we're bringing an AK to, you know what? That's not enough. We're gonna do the biggest weapon we've ever created.
I think in the realistic scope of things, it's funnier to think I went from Doritos to atomic bombs. That's quite a large leap in between those two. Oh
I
man.
mean, we went from electric guitars to Hitler creating Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I mean,
Yeah, you just gotta take your pick. You gotta take your pick. What you want, how you want it, and you know, we've talked our way through multiple different disasters and altered history, but all in all, if I had to choose something permanently, I'd bring a Slinky. My one and final, like of everything, I just bring a Slinky. And I'd be like, look, it's a fun toy. No, bring him a Fushigi. You remember them stupid scam things from the mid 2000s? Fushigi, and it was those little like clear balls. The infomercial be like, here's a Fushigi, dog. Knock yourself out. To be like, what is it? It's magic. No, it's not. It's a ball. Yeah, but the commercial I watched told me it was magic, so I don't know. Figure it out.
or a boomerang.
I think we've been lied to. Or a boomerang. Yeah, they use this for hunting in Australia. What's Australia? I don't know. You'll never know. And then just like leave.
I think we beat this into the ground enough. If you guys
I
want us
think
to
we-
do another episode like this, that was honestly a lot of fun.
Oh, I think that we could pick many more objects and run this into the ground again. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, like, comment, subscribe, follow, and let us know. And if there's any other objects you want us to talk about, even.
For quotes,
Oh boy. Whew.
oh no. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. I just thought it was ironic to bring it up in this, talking about the past and altering everything that has happened thus far.
Everything that we know and love. That's fair. In the interest of talking about bringing technologies to the past, I will go with the ever classic quote: "Every machine is a smoke machine if you operate it wrongly enough."
Yeah, that makes sense for this. But like Ian said, subscribe, follow to become a bud today. Thank you for BSing with us. And we'll see you next time when we bring more things from present day to the past.
When we bring Cheetos back to the past, that's really gonna knock them dead. But in the meantime, you just take her easy now.